Right now, inside your barn, bacteria are quietly converting manure into methane, and you do not capture it. That free fuel escapes into the sky, 28 times more destructive than carbon dioxide. You are paying for it twice. Once in wasted fuel worth enough to eliminate your heating bill entirely. Once in accelerating the very warming that is making your summers unbearable. Assyrians harnessed this 3,000 years ago, and Germany runs 10,000 digesters today. By the end of this video, you will discover exactly why this technology was made illegal in America, and how to build one yourself. Hi, I am Oliver, and welcome to Off-Grid Ohms. Subscribe and hit the bell for more uncovering electrical secrets. Every livestock farm in America is sitting on top of a fuel source, not buried in rock formations miles underground. Not trapped in shale waiting for hydraulic fracturing, sitting in manure piles behind the barn. Right now, billions of bacteria are eating through that organic waste in an oxygen-free environment, performing anaerobic digestion. The end product is biogas. It is a mixture of 50 to 70% methane and 30 to 50% carbon dioxide, the same methane that flows through the pipelines heating your home. The energy density is remarkable. 1 cubic meter of biogas contains roughly 6 kilowatt hours of energy. A single dairy cow produces about 140 pounds of manure every day, generating approximately 85 cubic feet of biogas. Scale that to a modest 100 cow dairy operation, and you are producing 50 to 75 kilowatt hours of electricity per day. Enough to power several American homes continuously. Now here is the number that should keep energy executives up at night. When you pair a biogas generator with a heat recovery system, you achieve combined heat and power. The generator produces electricity while waste heat maintains digester temperature and warms nearby buildings. Total system efficiency reaches 90%. No solar panel achieves that. No wind turbine comes close. The Environmental and Energy Study Institute estimates the United States has potential for over 8,000 livestock biogas systems, generating more than 13 million megawatt hours annually. Yet today, only 3% of American livestock waste is processed through anaerobic digesters. 97% of that methane either escapes into the atmosphere or sits in open lagoons, breeding pathogens and flies. The fuel is already being produced. The only question is whether you capture it or let it disappear. The American Biogas Council reports that as of 2025, only 631 farms across the entire United States operate biogas capture systems. Nearly 3,000 dairy farms with herds of 500 or more could support digesters right now but do not. In the hog farming sector, fewer than 2% of eligible operations have adopted the technology. If fully realized, American agriculture could produce enough biogas to meet the energy needs of approximately 7.7 million homes. That is nearly every household in New York State. The potential is staggering. The inaction is deliberate. But here is what makes this truly remarkable. We did not discover this biology. We forgot it. 3,000 years ago in ancient Assyria, people noticed bubbles rising from waste pits near livestock. It was a strange gas that burned when exposed to flame. Historical records indicate Assyrians used this gas to heat bath water as early as the 10th century before the Common Era. They did not understand microbiology, but they captured it and used it, 700 years before Rome was founded. In the 1600s, the Flemish chemist Jan Baptist van Helmont recorded that decaying organic matter produced flammable gases. A century later, Count Alessandro Volta collected marsh gas from the shores of Lake Maggiore in northern Italy and proved it could be ignited reliably and repeatedly. Then Sir Humphrey Davy identified the gas definitively. It was methane. Whether it came from a swamp, a cow, or a compost heap, bacteria were producing identical fuel. In 1859 in Bombay, India, engineers constructed the first known anaerobic digestion plant. In 1895, the city of Exeter, England began fueling its street lamps with biogas recovered from sewage. Victorian pedestrians walked through English streets illuminated by gas that came from waste. Not coal mines, not oil wells, waste. China built nearly 42 million household digesters serving almost 200 million people. India followed with 4.9 million installations. During World War II, when Allied bombing severed fuel supply lines across occupied Europe, German engineers built approximately 30 anaerobic digesters on farms. They ran tractors on biogas. They heated buildings with it. The moment fossil fuel supply chains collapsed, the first technology engineers reached for was biogas, because they knew it worked. Today, in 2024 alone, 125 new biogas projects came online across the United States, representing over $3 billion in investment, but 95% were designed to upgrade biogas into renewable natural gas for pipeline injection, not to power individual farms. The gas flows into the same corporate infrastructure that has always controlled American energy. The industry learned it could not stop biogas, so it learned to own the pipes instead. The biology inside a biogas digester operates like a four-stage engine. Stage 1 is hydrolysis. Bacteria break down complex organic polymers into simpler molecules. Proteins become amino acids. Carbohydrates become sugars. Fats become fatty acids. Stage 2 is acidogenesis. Different bacteria convert those simpler molecules into carbon dioxide, hydrogen, ammonia, and organic acids. Stage 3 is acetogenesis. Another bacterial community converts organic acids into acetic acid, plus additional carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Stage 4 is methanogenesis. Ancient archaea, organisms predating complex life by billions of years, convert acetic acid and hydrogen into methane, carbon dioxide, and water. These methanogens thrive between 35 and 37 degrees Celsius. They require a pH between 6.8 and 7.2 and an absolute absence of oxygen. Meet these conditions and they produce gas continuously for as long as you feed them. Modern biogas generators achieve electrical efficiency between 37% and 43.5%. With heat recovery, total system efficiency reaches 90%, and the digestate exiting the system retains every nutrient from the original input in a form more available to plants while destroying up to 99% of pathogens. One system produces electricity, heat, fertilizer, and sanitation. No other renewable technology delivers all four simultaneously. So why does the United States treat this technology as though it does not exist? The answer begins in the 1930s. American energy companies were laying thousands of miles of natural gas pipeline. The infrastructure was massive, and its profitability depended on every farm and home buying gas through those pipes instead of producing their own. The post-war boom brought cheap natural gas everywhere. The technology was not disproven, it was made economically invisible. The 1970s energy crisis briefly revived interest, research programs launched, demonstration projects appeared, then oil prices dropped and the funding evaporated. The lobbyists smiled and pipeline executives returned to business as usual. What remained was a regulatory maze. Today, a farmer building a simple digester must navigate federal EPA regulations, state livestock operation regulations, municipal solid waste rules, wastewater permits, air emissions requirements, nutrient management plans, local zoning ordinances, and building code reviews. Each layer is administered by a different agency. A fragmented regulatory landscape makes a $300 technology into a $30,000 ordeal. Most farmers simply walk away. But across the Atlantic, they never stopped capturing it. Germany operates nearly 10,000 plants, producing approximately 87 terawatt-hours annually. 40,000 people work in the German biogas supply chain. Feed-in tariff legislation drove the number of plants from roughly 140 in 1992 to over 7,700 by 2013. Farmers became energy producers, selling power back to the grid. Denmark now sources over 40% of its natural gas from biogas. France overtook Germany in biomethane production by 2025. Italy and Spain are scaling rapidly. In Southeast Asia, the regional government of Pamekasan, Indonesia, backed construction of 10 village-based biogas plants. The technology spreads everywhere the political will exists. The biology does not change when it crosses the Atlantic. The only difference is policy. The technology is not banned because it fails. It is buried because it threatens a $29 billion a year industry. The Renewable Natural Gas Coalition counts BP, Chevron, Shell, Enbridge, Kinder Morgan, NextEra Energy, Southern Company, and Cargill among its members. These companies have poured more than $1.6 billion into biomethane projects since 2017, while spending record amounts on federal lobbying. The gas industry does not want to eliminate biogas. It wants to own it. Renewable natural gas keeps trillions of dollars worth of pipeline infrastructure operating. Every farmer who generates electricity independently is a customer they lose permanently. Internal meeting notes from the American Gas Association dated March 2018 reveal the strategy explicitly. The industry planned to use biogas advocacy to mitigate opposition to fossil fuel infrastructure expansion. Before 2017, BP, Chevron, and Shell had never used the terms biogas or renewable natural gas in their sustainability reports. They did not discover the technology. They discovered its usefulness as marketing defense. The codes are written against you. The industry profits from your dependence. But the bacteria do not read permit applications, and the methane is already there. Building a biogas digester is simpler than the regulatory maze suggests. The foundation is a sealed tank. An intermediate bulk container holding roughly 270 gallons works remarkably well. You need 3 penetrations: an inlet pipe for feeding organic material, an outlet pipe for draining digestate, a gas line from the top to your collection point. The microorganisms require carbon to nitrogen ratios between 25:1 and 30:1 for optimal gas yields. Nearly any combination of vegetable scraps, food waste, grass clippings, animal manure, and agricultural residues works. Too much nitrogen produces excess ammonia that kills bacteria. Too much carbon and production stops. Mesophilic bacteria thrive between 95 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. In warm climates, ambient temperature may suffice. In colder regions, insulation or a small greenhouse structure maintains temperature passively. In harsh winters, a simple heating element powered by the system's own output keeps temperatures in range. A well-managed digester produces approximately its own volume of biogas per day. The gas contains hydrogen sulfide, which you remove by passing it through steel wool packed in a PVC pipe. Moisture is handled with a condensation trap. A standard gasoline or propane generator runs on biogas with minor carburetor adjustments. 1 day of production provides roughly 45 to 60 minutes of generator runtime. Store the electricity in a battery bank and draw from it throughout the day. Meanwhile, every bucket of material entering the digester produces digestate that is superior fertilizer. You are simultaneously producing energy and manufacturing soil amendment. 2 value streams from material you previously paid to haul away. The average American household spends over $2,000 annually on electricity and natural gas. A properly scaled digester eliminates that cost entirely. Safety demands respect, not fear. Every gas connection must be airtight. A flame arrestor prevents flashback. A pressure relief valve prevents dangerous buildup. A detector alerts you to leaks. The technology is not more dangerous than the propane tank already beside most rural American homes. The permit question is where practical knowledge meets bureaucratic reality. A system described as agricultural waste management references different code sections than one described as residential energy generation. How you describe the system shapes how regulators categorize it. This is not legal advice. It is an observation about how language shapes regulatory perception. 3 out of 4 American voters now support increasing government investment in biogas production. The public already understands what regulators refuse to acknowledge. Maintenance is straightforward. Monitor pH weekly. Check temperatures daily until you learn your system's rhythm. Clear solids annually, inspect gas connections seasonally. A well-maintained digester operates for decades. Feed them, keep them warm, keep oxygen out. They handle the rest. The knowledge survived because biology does not care about marketing budgets or regulatory capture or pipeline profits. It worked for the Assyrians 3,000 years ago. It worked in 1859 in Bombay. It worked in 1895 in Exeter. It works right now across 10,000 installations in Germany and 42 million household digesters in China. Bacteria have always been working. They worked before anyone filed a patent or wrote a building code or lobbied a congressional committee. And if you build the system correctly, they will work for you quietly, continuously, and for decades. While the gas industry pretends they do not exist, the methane is already there. It has always been there. The only thing missing was the tank. If this changed how you think about electricity, subscribe to Off-Grid Ohms with Oliver. Watch the next video appearing on your screen right now.